4 weeks to go in the NFL season. The Carolina Panthers are tied for first in the NFC South with an opportunity that is right in front of them to make the playoffs.
Brace yourself for the ultimate Carolina Panthers experience. Welcome to Two Growls, One Roar, the podcast that hits harder than a Luke Kuechly tackle. We're diving deep into the heart of Panther Nation, bringing you unrivaled passion, insider takes, and pure gridiron fire. From Wilmington to the cosmos, this is your home for the fiercest football talk east or west of Charlotte.
Welcome in, folks, to another edition of the Two Growls, One Roar podcast. Hope you guys have been doing well. Hope you've enjoyed all the content we've been putting out, a lot on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you guys can get it, of course, on all your podcast platforms. We have a lot of stuff coming out over this last week, taking advantage of the bye week, not really giving myself a bye, going full steam ahead. And that's exactly what the Carolina Panthers are on the cusp of doing as we come out of this Sunday. And although the Carolina Panthers did not play, boy, oh boy, were the Carolina Panthers victorious. You now look at this opportunity, and this is not a far-fetched idea. This is not a dream world. There is a reality for the Carolina Panthers. It's a 4-game season for the Panthers. The task is pretty simple. Opportunity to get into the playoffs. I posted this on social, so I don't know how many of you follow me wherever you are, but on X, I kind of jokingly this past week said it would be great. Here's box number 1 checked. New Orleans Saints doing just enough to knock off Tampa Bay. Now, that opens the window to me getting possibly with this matchup this week, knowing that New Orleans Saints beat the Carolina Panthers the first time around. I don't think the Panthers, because they're coming off a bye, they should be laser focused. I don't think they're going to be asleep. They know what's in front of them. Falcons eliminated from the playoffs. Saints eliminated from the playoffs. This division is right in front of them with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now we got to talk about scenarios, because this is where we are in the season. It's trying to figure out what could be, what will be. The wild card race, Panthers way back, number 9 seed. So we'll see. But being able to get into that 7 spot, having to have a tiebreaker over the 49ers, which you don't have, the odds are just not in their favor. Now you can do something against the Seattle Seahawks. That could help you down the stretch. So let's talk about a path right out of the gate. Now, as a Panthers fan, you may get a little too out in front of your skis like I have and think about the potential to lock up the division in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, this could be it. We could be punching our playoff ticket. Now, to get there, let's tell you how. The most important thing. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are struggling right now. Same record as the Panthers at 7-6. This week they'll play the Atlanta Falcons. If, and it's a big if, but it's also possible, if the Atlanta Falcons were able to knock off Tampa Bay, if the Carolina Panthers could take care of business against the New Orleans Saints, you are now talking about a 1-game lead for the Panthers, which is nice. 8-6 versus 7-7. 3 games to go. You now have the head-to-head matchup coming down the stretch. If the Panthers were able to overtake Tampa Bay that week, that would put them at 9 wins. 9 wins on the season. Tampa Bay would be sitting at, 7 and finish with the same record at that point, because it'd be 2 games to go. But this is why that's important. Number 1, it's a big if, but if Atlanta knocks off Tampa, if Carolina, Tampa, of course, Carolina Panthers will have a better record within the division. It is so important. And in that case, it wouldn't matter if Tampa Bay wins out. So Tampa Bay beats the Dolphins and then beats Carolina the final week of the season, wouldn't matter at all. Carolina would own the tiebreaker within the division. In that case, it would be 2 losses. It'd be 4-2 for the Panthers, 3-3 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And fortunately for us, when it comes to the NFL playoffs, we don't have a committee. Now you have far less teams, but there's no committee to decide who's in, who's out. It's very straightforward. Now, some people around the league may look at a 9-win, 10-win team within the NFC South as being one of the worst teams. I don't even care. If the Panthers can get there, and this is saying if they slow down, because there's a real path. We got to see what happens them being able to get possibly to that 11-win mark. I don't know that that's, I think 10's a good measurement right now. Biggest thing is that in this moment, right, that is like realistically competing for the playoffs. And coming into this week, that's all that I could ask for. It's kind of the cherry on top. We knew that chaos was going to be needed to a certain extent, whether it was through the wild card or the division. I've talked about the division being the easiest path for the Carolina Panthers. This late in the season, I know that Dave Canales likes to talk about championship opportunities, championship football. He has a lot of talking points around these things, and each week is that opportunity. This truly is it for the Carolina Panthers. Now, let's talk about a realistic scenario, which is the Panthers winning against the Saints. I don't want to talk about them losing. Like, we're going to put some good stuff into the air today. Panthers winning against the Saints and Tampa Bay beating Atlanta. In that case, we are looking at really like this head-to-head down the stretch. And so if both sitting at 8-6, whoever comes out of that's going to get to 9. And then both teams take a break. Panthers face Seattle. Tampa Bay will face the Dolphins. Let's just say for what to lose, maybe Tampa wins. It really boils down to the final week right there. And I would expect they would flex it. It's like win and get in. Win and you make the playoffs. What more could you ask for? And as a fan, the opportunity, this is where, like, I don't want to get too far out because there's also a very realistic chance that this team just decides to lay an egg this week against the New Orleans Saints, although I would hope we do not have that. But the New Orleans Saints, there's an egg. And you lose to Tampa, and then you potentially looking good. I think that 9-win mark, because it's right in front of you. Now, team hasn't done it before. The guys that have been here, now I know Dave Canales has coached a lot. He's been around it. One of the things that I would be curious about and actually have down there, Canales do, should we get into this picture perfect scenario where the Carolina Panthers, like we said, wrap up the division in 2 weeks. I think they'd want to go. I mean, I think they'd still play the Seattle Seahawks. Like, they're not just going to roll over. You know that you're going up against a playoff team, potential one. You may kind of let off the gas a little bit. Do you decide to rest your guys the final week of the season? Like, knowing that you just had your bye, is he one of those guys that, and this is just part of being a head coach, not having been there, do you rest some key players? Do you give other guys an opportunity? Do you kind of look at it as a preseason game in the final week if you get to that point? Not saying they're going to get there. We don't know. Don't know how it's going to pan out. And with, again, New Orleans is really there for the taking. And if you are a Carolina Panthers fan, I think you should feel good and comfortable. And if you're a player, I don't know if players or coaches are tuned into this, but feel confident in the fact that you beat the Rams, who were back in first. You just knocked them off. They rebounded fine against the Cardinals. Like, now is your chance. And I think a lot of that's going to have to do with the success of the run game, getting the guys back on defense, J.C. Horn, Merrick, although we'll find out about Lathan Ransom this week, but I really like a lot of key pieces, the health of the offensive line, things that have kind of been up and down, bumps and bruises along the way. Panthers are primed. And I'll tell you, when you talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there's the possibility that Mike Evans is going to get back. Yeah, that's in the works right now, and I'm all for it. I want them to be as healthy as possible so there's no excuse at all for the Carolina Panthers if they do pull this out. They already got Bucky Irvin, Chris Godwin, Emeka Ibuka, all these guys. They've got the playmakers, the skill positions. I don't want any excuses. Now, one benefit and upside for Tampa Bay coming off of this is they kind of get a mini bye baked in because they're going to be playing on Thursday Night Football against the Falcons. Hopefully they lose. Again, hopefully they lose, but I don't know that that's going to be the case. But it does give them a small window, a little extra time to rest and then prepare, which is probably why there's the possibility that Evans does come back. Carolina's been playing really good football at home this year, outside of a few kind of letdowns. Overall, their best football has been at home. They're figuring out how to win on the road. And I think we're going to see some good stuff, man. So, anyways, that is going to do it for today. Would love to know what you guys think about the Carolina Panthers' potential to make the playoffs if you are tuned in on Spotify or YouTube. Drop a comment. As always, this is Carolina Dad. Y'all have a good one.